Alright, today we're going to be looking at 1 Nephi 10:19. More specifically, we're going to be looking at the word mysteries. Now, this shows up in the very first verse of the Book of Mormon. We didn't cover it then. And before we go on to chapter 11, it is vitally important that we understand exactly what mysteries means. For he that diligently seeketh shall find, and the mysteries of God shall be unfolded unto them by the power of the Holy Ghost, as well as in these times as in times of old, and as well in times of old as in times to come. Wherefore the course of the Lord is one eternal round. Alright, we're looking at this word mysteries. We want to know what that means. What did it mean to the ancient Hebrews? In ancient Greek, the word mystery meant secret rites, implements used in such rites. In Hellenistic Greek, also secrets revealed by God, mystical truth, a Christian rite, a sacrament. In the Byzantine Greek, also the elements used in the Eucharist. So we're starting to see here that to the Greek, where the word mystery comes from in our English language, it meant secret rites. It meant spiritual revelations. It meant rituals that were performed, or ordinances. JohnButler says, mystery is a Greek word. It means secret, sacred, initiatory rites. Margaret Barker, who is not a member of the church, says that temple mysticism or mysteries are ancient temple rituals. You could read an entire paper on this at the link included on this slide. The word mystics comes from the ancient Hebrew word for mysteries and is a person who claims to attain or believes in the possibility of attaining insight into mysteries transcending ordinary human knowledge as by direct communication with divine or immediate institution in a state of spiritual ecstasy, a person initiated into religious mysteries. We have kind of been jaded over the last 100 years as we have these mystery novels and mystery genres that have come to be known and identified with Sherlock Homes and detectives and figuring out things that nobody understands. Well, anciently, these mysteries had everything to do with ancient temple rituals or ancient religious ordinances. In fact, we have a number of titles of mysteries from the ancient world. Initiations, this is the Eleusinian mysteries. They are initiations held every year for the cult of Demeter and Persephone, based at Panhellenic sanctuary of Ulysses in ancient Greece. So this is one example of ancient religious mysteries, which was like their version of a temple ceremony. The Isis mysteries are a ceremony worshiping the sarcophagus of Osiris depicted in a fresco in the temple of Isis at Pompeii from the 1st century CE. So this is another religious ritual that was performed called the Isis mysteries. The Dionysian mysteries were a ritual of ancient Greece and Rome, which sometimes used intoxicants and other trance-inducing techniques like dance and music to remove inhibitions and social constraints, liberating the individual to return to a natural state. It also provided some liberation for men and women marginalized by Greek society, among which were slaves, outlaws, and non-citizens. In their final phase, the mysteries shifted their emphasis from a chthonic underworld orientation to a transcendental mystical one, with Dionysus changing his nature accordingly. So we'll see all of these mysteries are rituals that include a drama that is played out. If you haven't figured out by now, I'm contending that the word mysteries is talking about the temple, talking about endowment ceremony or ordinances that comprise everything within the new and everlasting covenant. So let's back up to 1 Nephi 1:1, where the first word mysteries is used, and see if it works, and see if it applies, and see if Nephi is thinking that it means the same thing that we're thinking that it means. Having been highly favored of the Lord in all my days, yea, having had a great knowledge of the goodness and the mysteries of God. Therefore I make a record of my proceedings in my days. If our inference is correct, Nephi is telling us that he has a great knowledge of the goodness and the temple endowment of God, that he is an endowed member of the church, that he has received his temple ordinances. Let's look at the next one. 1 Nephi 2:16. And it came to pass that I, Nephi, being exceedingly young, nevertheless large in stature, and also having great desires to know the mysteries of God, See, he wants to know what his father knows. He wants to have the experience of the endowment that his father had. Wherefore I did cry unto the Lord, and behold, he did visit me, and did soften my heart, that I did believe all the words which had been spoken of by my father. Okay, now the verse that we're looking at today. For he that diligently seeketh shall find, and the endowment of God shall be unfolded unto them, by the power of the Holy Ghost, as well as in these times as in times of old, and as well in times of old as in times to come. Wherefore the course of the Lord is one eternal round. If that doesn't tip us off, that the very last segment of this sentence is the course of the Lord is one eternal round, that Nephi is trying to tell us that he's talking about temple rituals here, then I don't think anything will. Let's look at the other instances of the word used in the Book of Mormon. In Jacob 4:8, behold, great and marvelous are the works of the Lord, how unsearchable are the depths of the endowment of God, or the endowment of him. And it is impossible that man should find out all his ways, and no man knoweth of his ways, save it be revealed unto him. Wherefore, brethren, despise not the revelations of God. Nobody knows about the endowment unless they've been through the endowment, is what Jacob is telling us. Or King Benjamin. In Mosiah 2, verse 9, my brethren, all ye that have assembled yourselves together, you that can hear my words, which I shall speak unto you this day, for I have not commanded you to come up hither to trifle with the words which I shall speak, but that you should hearken unto me, and open your ears that ye may hear, and your hearts that they may understand, and your minds that the mysteries of God, or the endowment, may be unfolded to your view. King Benjamin is about to go through a temple ceremony with his people here. Alma 12, 9 through 11. And now Alma began to expound these things unto him, saying, it is given unto many to know the mysteries, or the endowment of God. Nevertheless, they are laid under a strict command, that they shall not impart only according to the portion of his word, which he doth grant unto the children of men, according to the heed and diligence which they give unto him. And therefore he that will harden his heart, the same receiveth the lesser portion of the word. And he that will not harden his heart, to him is given the greater portion of the word, until it is given to him to know the full endowment, or the mysteries of God, until he know them in full. And they that will harden their hearts, to them is given the lesser portion of the word, until they know nothing concerning his mysteries, or his endowment. The more you harden your hearts, the less you'll understand, and the less you'll remember from the endowment. And then they are taken captive by the devil, and led by his will down to destruction. Now this is what is meant by the chains of hell. Now Alma 37. Now these mysteries, or these endowments, are not yet fully made known unto me, therefore I shall forbear. Now look what he says in verse 12. And it may suffice if I only say these are preserved for a wise purpose, which purpose is known unto God. For he doth counsel in wisdom over all his works, and his paths are straight, and his course is one eternal round. Just like Nephi said, just like Joseph Smith spoke of when he spoke of the temple. Another interesting correlation that can help us even further substantiate the fact that when we're talking about mysteries, we're talking about temple ordinances, is Korihor. If you remember, Korihor fought against the church. Now, there isn't anything in the Book of Mormon that explicitly says that Korihor was a good standing member who fell away, but we can infer from everything else that he was. He knows about everything that goes on within the church. Look at him here. He says, yea, they durst not make use of that which is their own, lest they should offend their priests, who do yoke them according to their desires, and have brought them to believe by their traditions, and their dreams, and their whims, and their visions, and their pretended mysteries, that they should, if they do not do according to their words, offend some unknown being who they say is God. So he's saying, he's making fun of these people that go through the temple, and calling this endowment a pretend mystery, or a pretend endowment, that they make these covenants, that they're worried about offending God, because they make these pretend covenants while performing these mysteries, or this endowment. It gets even better, because how does Korihor die? Alma 30:59, he was run upon and trodden down even until he was dead. Well, I'm going to contend in a later video that the Sermon on the Mount was also a temple ceremony. And what does Christ say about those who don't keep their covenants that they make inside the temple? Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is henceforth good for nothing. So if you that have made covenants now break these covenants, you're good for nothing. And what is the penalty? But you'll be cast out and trodden under the foot of men. What had happened to Korihor? He was trodden out. He was cast out and trodden under the foot of men. Could it be that this was the ancient penalty for breaking temple covenants? Between Margaret Barker's study on the Ugaritic texts, the Dead Sea Scrolls, she's come to be certain that any time the word mysteries is used, it's referring to an ancient temple ritual. John Butler has made the same conclusion using LDS references that you can read in his book called Plain and Precious Things. And all of these scriptures within the Book of Mormon seem to refer to one eternal round, a ritual that was performed to those who were worthy and is to be kept a secret, or a penalty would come upon them. If we understand that any time that Nephi is talking about mysteries, he's talking about an endowment, a temple ritual, the entire Book of Mormon will open up to us. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.